Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to another round of the Groggy Donkey. I'm Jacob, the founder and editor-in-chief here at the Groggy Donkey, and I am the DM for tonight for this next episode of the Gatekeeper Chronicles. Now, I have just Kristen with me tonight, and we're going to be doing another solo session. I did not expect to do this, but with the choices that Harold has made, has put him in an interesting position. So, last episode, I take that back, the episode before last, Harold had made the decision to journey by himself to the town of Hexenvorop in order to find a mechanic to fix the downed land cruiser, while the rest of the party pushed on and went to the Temple of Astralpia. While in Hexenvorop, Harold found a mechanic named Sorvo, who sent his assistant Carmen to go tow the vehicle back and then start the necessary repairs. Harold had also discovered that in town were some lizard folk, which hail from the planet Crescol, which is the home of the Zionogre theocracy. Somebody that Harold despises very much for some things that happened in his past. So, while the rest of the party is at the Temple of Astralpia, Harold did what he did around town. We've covered that already. And at the end of the day, he laid down in the jungle that surrounds Hexenvorop, and he went to sleep. I had Kristen roll a stealth check, and the result of that roll was a 14. This is where we pick up today's episode. Harold, you complete a long rest. The night goes by, no incident, nothing happens. As you awaken, the sun rises and it begins to stream through the trees, the branches. It's this very bright yellow glow. The warmth of the sun begins to fill your body, and it awakens the jungle around you. It's a very surreal experience to wake up, and of course you're used to this because you do this very often, sleeping out in the wild.
Yes.
A very odd thing for a professor of science, perhaps, but maybe not too odd, given that you are a biochemist and a biologist. As the birds chirp and the bugs fly about and the other creatures of the jungle go about their day and do their thing, what is it that you would like to do?
How long did they say that the land cruiser would take?
Sorvo said that it would take 2 days. Well, actually, Carmen was the one that said it would take 2 days.
Right. So did yesterday count as half a day, or did that count as a full day?
I would say that, so with having it towed back to Sorvo's service station and then like a diagnostics check, that would be kind of a half day, but there's still like 2 days worth of repair that
Gotcha. Okay.
that would have to happen. And of course, you could always go back to Sorvo and ask and be like, hey, you diagnosed the vehicle. What do you think? Because he might say it could be a day, could be 2 days, could be a little bit longer. Maybe he has to order a part, something like that. So you can always go back to Sorvo and just kind of feel that out.
Okay. No, I think I'm going to give it the 2 days. I think what I want to do is I think I want to venture further into the jungle.
Okay.
Just to, again, do research, try to see if there's anything new I can find, cook up different poisons, that kind of stuff.
Alrighty. Roll me a survival check. Yep.
16.
A 16. Okay, so you venture out into the jungle again, and as you begin to wander around, you find... go ahead and roll me a 2d6, and then give me the numbers on the die separately.
5
Okay.
and 1.
Okay. So you are able to identify 5 different plants that are kind of unknown to you. Or maybe you know of them, you kind of know like the family or genus or whatever that they would belong to, but they're a little bit unfamiliar. You would need to do some more study on them to actually figure out what they are. One of them is a moss, one of them is a vine, and then 2 of them are types of mushrooms.
Last one.
The last thing that you find is it's an insect. It's a small insect. It has it's kind of frightening to think about, but it kind of looks like like if a praying mantis upper body was sitting on a spider's abdomen. So it's got 8 legs like a spider and the body of a spider, and then it's got like the upper torso and then the arms of a praying mantis.
That's gross.
Yep, and there'll be more details about that later on whenever you actually get a chance to dissect the thing and figure out more about it. So you got the moss, the 2 mushrooms, the vine, and then this praying mantis spider-like creature. Horrifying. So what is it that Harold wants to do? So you've collected these things. You've spent a couple hours rummaging through the jungle, and you collect these, you put these in these little sample vials and containers and jars and stuff like that. And I would say that you probably have like a special way to keep this insect like alive.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Until you can like do what you need to do later.
Well, I guess I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna go back into town wearily. I'm gonna... You said I took a long rest?
You did take a long rest, yes. So if you haven't marked that already in your character sheet, go ahead and do so.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my disguise self, my once per long rest one, and I'm gonna become the old man again, like I do, and I'm gonna venture into town, and I'm gonna go to... Not the diner that you said on our little map. You have it labeled as 2. Not that one, because I remember seeing the lizard man there. I'm going to go to what you marked as 3.
Okay. So this is called the Stranded Wing. And so you come back into town, and you've got the buildings of the town. And, of course, they've got a very a futuristic look, kind of rounded, some domed tops. And... The building that you come across, it kind of stands out because it's very square in comparison to some of the other buildings that are there. And it's a 2-story building. It's got like a little front porch. Kind of think of whenever you think of like a fantasy tavern.
Yep.
That's kind of what this looks like, but it's got a very sci-fi futuristic feel to it at the same time. So it's got that modern architectural build to it, but it's designed and it looks kind of old and rustic. It's definitely run down. There's like some rust stains on the wall. There's a big sign that says the Stranded Wing, and there's some music that you can hear coming from the inside, and the whole place just kind of looks dirty. Do you enter the Stranded Wing?
Does Harold think that this would be a place where more of the theocracy are bound to gather rather than at that diner?
Roll me a history check, and I'm going to give you advantage on this because of your knowledge and experience with the theocracy.
15.
So 15, you know that the theocracy is full of all manners of species of different species, right? It's not super diverse, and like you don't find humans, you're not going to find elves in the theocracy, but the crowd that you are going to find, lizard folk, bugbears, and thrycreen, which is like an insectoid like humanoid, they're diverse. So there is a possibility that you could run into a theocracy soldier here, but I mean, you already saw them at Beapo's. Beapo's has a reputation of being like the better eating facility, and it's going to offer a more diverse cuisine than what the Theocracy is probably going to find on some of their planets, depending on who those foot soldiers are. So the fact that you've seen one there means that you're probably going to find a second one there. And the Stranded Wing there, I hate to say it, it's kind of 50-50, but you're unsure, but you think that there is a possibility, but it might be slimmer.
Harold, realizing he's in disguise as a sweet old man, probably wouldn't go into like a dirtier rundown establishment, because then people might start to question. So he's going to go into the diner.
Okay. So you enter Beapo's Diner, and it, like I described it previously, it kind of is like a sci-fi 50s diner, like diner car. So it's got like silver, that chrome accent on the outside, that panel. It's got those windows and like a red or a black and white checkered floor, and then like a jukebox with the little, the bubbles floating in the liquid, and there's a bar with some seating, and then it's kind of a U-shape establishment on the inside, and so there's tables all along this U-shape, and then there's a second room off to the side there it's empty and kind of closed off, but there is some more seating out there as well. And as you enter this establishment, you see behind the counter, she's taking orders and cashing people out and whatnot. You see Beapo, and she is a middle-aged elven woman. She's got dark hair, and she's wearing a blue top and then a black dress, or a skirt, excuse me.
Is there like a counter, like a food counter, like you normally see in the 1950s diner, like with the stools and everything?
Yes, yeah. There's that bar.
Yep. So I'm gonna go up to there, and I'm gonna just take an empty seat. I'm not gonna flag her down or anything. I'm just gonna wait for her to kind of finish what she's doing. I'm not gonna really try to stand out in any way.
After a few minutes, Beapo does come over to you, and she greets you, and she says, "Hey, dear, what can I get for you?"
Oh, hello, dear. I was hoping just to get some water and maybe something to eat, something that you recommend.
Beapo kind of sighs. You can see that she's fighting, rolling her eyes, and she goes, "I'll get you a water, and I'll give you a few more minutes with the menu, but I definitely recommend the chicken sandwich." And then she kind of shuffles off to get you a glass of water, and she comes back. She sets it down on like a little coaster. There's some ice cubes floating in it, and then she just kind of like looks at you for a moment.
Chicken sandwich sounds amazing. Thank you, darling.
I'll get that in for you. And then she scuttles off again. Beapo's Diner is kind of a lively place. People are chit-chatting, and it's, the din, the background noise of just people chit-chatting. There's some music playing. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
17.
Oh, 17. Okay. In the back corner of Beapo's Diner, you see a blonde elven woman. You know her to be you could tell that she's a high elf. And she's wearing garb that looks of a lower station than what she is, but she's trying to pull off that she's something other than what she is. That's what you can tell just by looking at her.
Okay.
That her garb is still nice in a place that probably wouldn't have somebody dressed like that, but it's definitely, there's a certain air about her that gives the impression that she's playing a game.
Do I recognize anything about her? Like, do I know her from somewhere? Or do I just know that she's trying to look at a lower station than what she is?
Harold, you do know her.
I do.
You know this woman as Duchess Erwina of House Antol. This is Archduke Aethor's wife.
Oh, interesting. Is she with anyone, or is she looking around as if she's trying to meet someone? Does she look scared? Like, what's her demeanor?
Roll an insight check.
You said insight?
Yes.
13.
13. It's pretty easy to pick up that she is calm and appears to be very in charge. She is seated at a table with two gentlemen. One of them is a lizard folk, and the other one is a lionel.
Can I see their faces?
You cannot. They have their backs to you.
Okay. Where's the bathroom in this establishment? Is it like past their table, or is it in the opposite direction?
It actually is on that side. So if you're seated at the bar here, and the bar goes this way, and like you walked in here, they would be seated over here, like in this corner, and there's some more seats. This is where the bathroom would be over here.
Okay. I'm gonna get up
Okay.
and old man slow, like limp old man slow,
Gotcha.
to the bathroom. And I'm gonna, like, as I walk by, casually just peer to see if I recognize these two.
Okay. You go ahead and roll. Roll me a stealth check first.
Baby. 17.
Easy enough. Okay. You are able to pull off the fact that you're an old man and that you're just kind of shuffling past at a very leisurely, I'm an old man kind of pace. And as you pass by them, you are able to kind of glance over and see their faces. The lizard folk, he's kind of in disguise. He definitely has a very military air about him, but he just kind of seems like a low officer who's there doing business. The other gentleman is the Lionel. You don't recognize him at all. But you can see his face.
Are either of them wearing Theocracy or Republic colors?
No, neither of them are.
Okay. You said our, I don't know what you call them, our communication devices, those thingies. Mm-hmm. Those take pictures, right?
They do.
Okay. Is it, when it takes a picture, is it one of those loud, like, chick, chick, so you know a picture's taken, or is it, like, silent?
So, well, much like phones of today, you can either like decrease the volume or turn it on silence, and you could take a photo without that being like without making noise. Here's an odd question though: how's Harold with technology? Would he be able to figure that out, or is he kind of not adept?
I would say he's so-so right now. If you would have asked this like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, he would have been piss poor. But since he's been in Wargick's era and with Aethor and Saren and like all these students he's been teaching, like all these college kids, he's kind of picked it up and learned how to use technology a lot better than what he had been. Especially with these young spies showing him how to do things.
He's the guy that had a flip phone for years, and then finally got a smartphone, and then discovered what social media was.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I'd say that you'd be able to take a photo without making noise, but the question is can you do it without being seen? So I'm actually going to call this a sleight of hand.
Okay. 19 plus 1, dirty 20, baby.
Damn. Okay, so you just kind of, you've got your phone out, you're walking back from the bathroom or to the bathroom, however you want to play this.
And I want to take the picture where I can get all three of them in it.
Okay.
Or like taking a picture of her as I'm walking towards the bathroom and a picture of them as I'm walking away. Like if it has to be 2 pictures, okay, but trying to get one picture with all of them.
I'll allow you to do that. So yeah, that's easy enough. So you pass by on your way to the bathroom. You get a picture of Arwina of Ondel with the two gentlemen across from her, their backs, and then on the way back out of the bathroom, you're able to get a picture of the two gentlemen's faces with the Duchess.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to approach them. I'm not going to, like, confront her in any way. Just in case she's on, like, a mission of some sort for Aethor. I don't want to disturb any of that because I don't know what they have going on, like, politically.
Right.
So I'm just going to go back to the, like, my seat. And still get the food that I wanted. I'm going to kind of look around, just keep, like, peering around just to make sure that I don't see, like, anyone from the theocracy. And if I do, like, if I recognize them and all that good stuff.
Okay. Now, here's a question. Are you trying to eavesdrop at all?
On their conversation, the Duchess's conversation?
Yes.
How far away am I from them?
From where you're seated, you wouldn't be able to. You would have to pull some shit to try to do that.
I'm gonna say, I want to say yes. I want to try to eavesdrop, but I'm not quite sure how.
Okay.
Put some thought into that first.
Okay. Well, as you're seated at your seat at the bar, Beapo comes back over and she gives you your chicken sandwich, and she puts the check, kind of classic diner fashion. She puts the check next to your plate and she says, "Take it a time. This is just here whenever you're ready." And then she wanders back off to deal with her other customers.
Well, as of right now, I am very hungry, so I'm just gonna start eating.
Okay.
How many seats are to, I guess it would be the left of me, like closer to them?
How many seats in between you?
Yeah.
Let's see. Probably 5 booths, 5 seats.
5 seats. And how many of them are full right now?
All of them.
Okay, so there's people at all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's no empty chairs closer to where they are?
Along the bar, there would be.
Okay. How many?
See, bars are a little different than booths, so I'm going to give that number at 10.
So, like, if I was to draw a picture real quick, I'm assuming these are the booths.
Yep.
This is the bar.
Yep.
Here's the bathroom.
Yes.
So, say they're sitting here and I'm over here. There's like 10 chairs.
Yes.
Okay. And how many of those are empty?
The bar seems to actually be pretty empty. There might be 1 or 2 other patrons at the bar.
Okay. So what Harold's gonna do, I'm gonna get up. No, before I get up, I'm gonna kind of slide my food over, like, to the next chair down, without anyone really realizing it. Just kind of like pushing it to the left of me.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get up, and as I walk by the bar, I'm gonna kind of slide it even further until I'm about 3 chairs down more.
Okay.
And then I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to keep walking to the bathroom. I'm an old man. I have a small bladder. I got to pee again.
Makes sense. This tracks.
So I'm going to go pee again. And then when I come back, my food is now closer. So it looks like I'm going to my chair, even though my chair is a little bit closer than what it was.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so you go to the bathroom, you've scooted your plate over, you come back, you're 3 seats closer. Let's see, so this puts you about 7 seats away. All right, so you come back, you sit down. Now what do you want to do?
Can I hear anything now? Being a little bit closer.
Roll me a perception check, and I'm going to say disadvantage on this one. So
Disadvantage? Okay.
Yeah, two rolls, pick the lowest roll.
14.
With a 14, you catch a few words here and there, but they're pretty sporadic and it's quiet and muffled. The words that you do hear, you just hear generic phrases like deal, and you do hear the word theocracy.
So is that adding? What do I add?
Yeah, that'd be 1 point.
1.
Which actually, let's go back and go ahead and roll a d6 and add your Constitution modifier.
8.
8.
Because I rolled a 6.
All right. Well, so from this morning, you would have gotten rid of all of your stress points.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And so so you
One.
now have one.
Just one.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So yeah, so you hear words like the deal, and you do hear a mention of the theocracy, and
Now,
you
hold on, question. I know the theocracy has a whole bunch of different races within it and all that stuff, but I feel like lizard folk or lizard men are a big part of it. Would seeing a lizard man cause any kind of stress?
I would say that no, because yes, lizard folk hail from Crescol, but you there is the chance of finding a lizard folk somewhere else.
Okay,
Much
yeah.
in the way of like the main campaign of where like elves, on the Prime world, elves are from Minball, and then there are some that are in Yorkon.
Oh, good. So Harold's not racist.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's not common to see one, at the timeline in the main campaign where we're at. It's not uncommon to see an elf in Yorkon. It's just where you see them.
Perfect. Okay.
And there would be some animosity towards them, towards the lizard folk because of the theocracy, but it's not like a totally out of place, uncommon thing to see one.
Okay.
Well, actually, I would say it's rare, but like it's not impossible.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm going to wait another few minutes, and then I'm going to do the same thing again,
Okay.
where I'm going to push my food over a little bit and walk to the bathroom again.
This time I want you to roll a stealth check.
Okay. 17.
Okay. So you get up, you do the same thing again. You're 3 seats closer now. So you're about 4 seats away. You're like a booth over pretty much at this point.
Cool.
And you sit down and no one says anything. No one does anything. Beapo comes over, and she fills up your glass, kind of raises an eyebrow at you. But so Beapo doesn't really seem to care. There's nobody at the bar. It's odd. You could tell that she saw you move, but doesn't really seem to give a shit. So go ahead and roll me another perception check if you're still trying to eavesdrop.
Yes, I am still trying to eavesdrop. 19.
Unbelievable. Okay.
I know.
So with a 19,
I like these little mini dice. I'm rolling well.
so with a 19, you are able to hear their conversation pretty well. And of course, the diner that we typically go to.
Yes.
How if you're sitting at the bar, even
Oh,
at
yeah,
one of the
you're,
booths,
like, right there.
You
Yeah.
hear everything, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of that feeling that you're getting right now.
Okay.
You feel like you're almost sitting at the table. They are speaking quietly to each other, but does seem to be like a business meeting of some kind. So there is a slight projection in the voice, and instead of doing 3 different voices for all 3 of these characters, I'm just going to kind of summarize the conversation of what you hear. Of course, you pick up kind of in the middle of it, but the gist of what you pick up from this is that Arwina of House Ondhol is in Hexenvorop meeting with this lieutenant who is there on behalf of Zalvador Kethkai. And yes, you do hear the name, and yes, you will mark those points.
What was that? 5?
He's 5.
5.
Yep. Anything dealing with him is
That's what I thought.
Is 5.
Yeah.
Seeing him, hearing him, he is 5. The other gentleman that's at the table, the Lionel, he is a representative of the crime syndicate Duo Otas, and putting together what you're hearing from this conversation and from what your conversation with Shethet Hunrara. Duo Tas is a kind of stronghold for them, and they have a manufacturing plant to turn wargum into targum. The theocracy is also meeting with Duo Tas. You kind of missed that part of the conversation, but based off of some of the other things that have been said...
Now, hold on. Question.
Yes.
Does this device on my wrist have the capabilities of recording?
Yes, I would say that it does. The quality might not be super great, so just roll me a straight d20.
Straight D20?
Yep.
17. I love these dice.
I hate asking you to roll anything at this point.
Oh, there'll come a day where I get a nat 1, and you're just going to rejoice.
I will probably kick my heels up and joy. You are able to position your recording device to be able to catch what they're saying.
Okay. Harold probably wouldn't have picked up the initial part of when he first started listening, but once he realized that they were talking about, once he realized it was a lieutenant for Salvador, Kethkai, and once the Lionel was a rep, he would have started, recording right away.
Your hour is coming up for your disguise self.
I'm gonna re-up that biatch.
Okay, now just remember, this has verbal and somatic components.
And I remember what my verbal component is. So I'm gonna cast it. Now it was a verbal and what?
Somatic, so the
yeah. So I did spirit fingers down my body.
Yeah.
And instead of screaming out I'm gonna kind of do it under my breath as best as I can. Just a spirit fingers to myself and a wow. Like an old man kind of making it sound like a grunt. Yeah.
Okay. All right, you know what?
As best as I can.
I'll let that one slide.
Nice.
I'll let that one slide. That's good. You know what? Take a point of inspiration for that.
Nice.
The old man grunt. So you re-up your disguise. You've got this recording going. Just know that your is going to be in your recording. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right, Harold. What do you want to do now?
Well, I'm going to keep listening to their conversation. Are they still talking about, why she's meeting with them? What they're doing?
So they're kind of in the middle of, negotiating. And from the sounds of it, she is trying to work a deal to keep the theocracy out of Wargixera. But maybe allowing a representative of the theocracy to be stationed there and a small outpost.
Okay. So
Now, if you remember correctly, Aethor talked about having dealings with the theocracy to, broker some kind of deal.
Yeah.
To, keep peace.
Right.
So this does kind of line up.
Yeah, so she doesn't have, it doesn't seem like she's doing anything shady, does it?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. 7 + 2, 8, 9. That's probably the lowest roll I've had in a while.
Yeah, I think so. So you're trying to read Arwina, and you've been in New Liran at the palace for a couple of months. But your dealings with the Duchess have been few.
Okay.
And brief.
Okay.
You might have seen her at dinner, maybe was invited to a party of some kind, in passing in the palace, or maybe you went to Archduke Aethor's office and she was in there. You might have caught her a few times, might have had a brief conversation, but you don't know how to read her yet. So it is unclear to you what her intentions are, whether they be above board that line up with what Aethor wants, or if they're some sort of nefarious.
Okay. And would I think that Saren would know of any plans that Aethor had, any of these dealings and stuff? Would she be aware of these meetings that go on?
I would say that with your relationship with Saren, you two probably have a sporadic communication, just based off of how I see you interact with Saren.
Uh-huh.
I would say the two of you do kind of keep up a little bit, but what you know of Saren, probably not.
Gotcha.
In fact, roll. Let's see. How well do you think you know Saren, or would have tried to get to know Saren?
I would say if we put it like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 being like I don't know her at all, 10 being like I know everything about her, I would probably put it at like right smack in the middle at a 5, maybe even a 5.5, because she was the one who essentially saved Harold, like got him out of that situation. So he is extremely grateful to her, and so he would really want to get to know her and thank her and be able to do tasks or favors or whatever for her to kind of repay his debt, if you will, because he feels as though he owes her for saving him and letting him ride on the ship out of there to Wargixera.
Gotcha. Okay. So with that in mind, which is kind of where I was thinking of how you would be, I'm going to have you roll a history check with advantage.
With advantage. Okay.
Yeah, with advantage. You rolled a natural 20, didn't you?
No, I rolled a 19.
God, that's just
so 19 plus 3.
Okay, so
22.
You smoked my DC.
But it's a good thing you gave me advantage because the first roll was only an 11.
I shouldn't have given you advantage. Anyway, so with
no take backsies.
with your relationship with Saren, you know how much you do know her, how well you do know her. You know, you're not Luca. You know,
you're right.
You don't know her in
years.
and out. You wouldn't be able to just look at her and read what she's thinking, pretty much. But you probably would have learned through conversations with her that Saren doesn't really have anything to do with like ruling Wargixera. She might be the Grand Duchess, but that's a title that was given to her by birth. And in fact, you do know that when you go places with her, or like even in the palace, the times that you've spent with her, there's a lot of people who don't actually really seem to recognize that she's the Grand Duchess.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think that would strike you as odd, but maybe something that you would never have actually like broached in conversation. But just something that you probably would have noticed. It's like, you know, people just kind of treat her like just like some ship pilot gunslinger that the Archduke knew.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not going to... Again, I'm not going to interrupt the meeting that they're having. I'm going to keep recording, keep listening. Just for, like, key phrases that I would see as being nefarious, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And I'm just going to make a mental note to talk to Saren later.
Gotcha. So... You're recording this conversation,
right?
And you're listening to them.
Yeah.
And you've done really well to kind of like hide the fact that you're definitely eavesdropping. And as you're listening to them, you hear that you hear the lizard folk man say that, oh, the major is on his way right now.
The major is on his way? Do I know that Kethkai is the major?
Yes.
Okay. Does that constitute 5 more points? Because I feel like that would stress me the F out.
Do you think that knowing that he's on his way?
I think I would. Yep.
All right. Wonderful. Okay. So you are really stressed out. You are, I mean, probably almost visibly shaking at this point. What is it that you're going to do?
I'm going to pay my tab and get the F out of there.
Okay. So you go up to the counter, you've got your check, you impatiently tap your foot as Beapo finishes up with one of our other customers. She comes over, she cashes you out, and she says, "That'll be 7 silver."
I give her 8.
Thank you. Have a lovely day, dear. And you begin to make your way out of Beapo's diner. You exit the diner, and where's it you want to go?
I'm going to go stop by Sorvo just to see how it's going, make sure there's no other issues that they found, you know, all that good stuff.
Okay. You turn to your right, and you begin to walk down the street. And you see someone out of the corner of your eye. It is a Yanti dressed in a casual military uniform, and you recognize him as Major Salvador Kethkai. He is standing about 10 feet from you.
In front of me or to the side of me?
I would say if you're looking at this like an analog clock, he'd be about 10 o'clock from you.
I'm going to just keep my head down and keep shuffling towards Sorvo. Like, I'm not going to glance up at him. I'm not going to... Nothing like that.
Okay. There's a little voice in the back of your mind. Kind of... like a burning sensation in the back of your head. And you obviously know this voice rather well.
Yes, I do.
And he speaks to you. What do you think Baal would say?
Baal would... he'd be sitting there and he'd be saying, "Let me kill him. Let me out. Death, blood, let me out." Like, he'd just be yelling that over and over in Harold's head.
Okay. Now, this is something that we actually haven't discussed. When Baal speaks to Harold, how do you think that would affect him? And I want to put this in a mechanical perspective of like your stress meter. Baal is literally saying, "Let me out," and you have a hatred for Salvador Kethkai.
I do,
and a fear of him.
Yeah, a big fear of him. Just because of what he wants from me. Or I should say just me in general. But even though I have a hatred and a fear of him, I also kind of have like a moral compass.
Right.
If you will. So I don't want to outright kill anyone, no matter what they've done or where they're from or whatever. Because originally he was acting under someone else's orders. So it might not have been his choice to begin with. Even though I don't know his backstory, there's always that possibility.
Okay.
So I feel like Harold wouldn't want to outright kill him. Yes, he doesn't want him to live, but he doesn't necessarily want to be the one to kill him.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, the reason I bring this up is because, yes, Kethkai was mentioned earlier, and I had you mark 5. You just saw him, so I had you mark another 5.
Mm-hmm.
You are teetering.
Yeah.
Teetering on the edge.
I very much am. That is also a part in why Harold is just trying to GTFO. Because he knows how catastrophic it would be if he goes over the edge.
This is true.
Because it wouldn't just be Kethkai. The whole town would go up in smoke.
Would Harold have hesitated for just a moment?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
He is strong in his resolve, and he's strong in his will. I mean, he's spent 100 years forming his will to be ironclad so that Baal couldn't overpower him.
Gotcha.
So he is very strong-willed, and when he has something in his mind, he's going to stick to it. So in his mind, he already decided that he is not just like, if he ever met Kethkai again, he was not going to just like run up to him without a plan and kill him.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is not what he wanted to do. If he was ever going to kill Kethkai himself, he would have had to think of like a meticulous plan and do it on his terms, like bring Kethkai into a trap or something. He wouldn't just, hey, I see him in passing, I'm going to confront him, because he doesn't know how many men he has with him. He doesn't know like anything like that. And Harold is not one for random acts of aggression.
Senseless violence.
Exactly. Senseless violence, and he is also a very meticulous man.
Makes sense.
Like, he wants everything planned down to a T, because as a child he had so many unknowns that now he's almost like borderline OCD.
Definitely serial killer vibes is what he's giving
pretty
me
much.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of put your head down and you shuffle past Kethkai and you make your way, and he just strides very confidently up to Beapa's diner, and he enters. And maybe you glance back and you see him through the window as he greets Arwina of House Andhol, and then he sits down and begins to converse, and you continue on your way to Sorvo's.
Another question, just for like my own memory's sake. I told Aethor everything, right?
You did.
So he knows what Kethkai, like that relationship, he knows everything about him.
Yes.
Okay. Harold is slightly aggravated. I wouldn't say mad or enough to make him like start throwing things or anything like that. But he's slightly aggravated at the fact that if this was sanctioned by Aethor, like this meeting, why would he be allowing Kethkai here when he promised that Harold would be safe in Wargixera from Kethkai? You know, because Harold could understand representatives because he knows Aethor doesn't want to start a war. So he understands that. But to have Kethkai himself set foot so close to Wargixera, he'd be a little bit aggravated. But also understand that, hey, Aethor didn't know we were heading to Hexenvorop.
Okay.
You know, so he's like, he has that kind of like good cop, bad cop going on in his mind.
Gotcha.
And that conversation could be between him and Baal, where Baal's trying to egg him on, being like, he knows your past. He knows what they're after. He betrayed you. But then in Harold would be talking back to Baal, being like, no, he didn't. He set up the meeting in Hexenvorop, far away from Wargixera, to make sure I was safe. He didn't know we were going to Hexenvorop.
Okay.
You know, so that conversation is just going back and forth between him and Baal, like good, like the angel and devil on your shoulder.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna have you roll a wisdom saving throw, and this isn't. I'm gonna let you know now. This isn't to try to keep Baal from coming out.
Okay. Yeah.
This is just
a normal.
Just to try to kind of like shut him up, kind of deal. You know, and in the older editions of D&D, this would actually be like called a will save.
Gotcha.
Or like a will check. And I kind of like that term. So that's kind of what I want to call this, is like a will check. But it is a wisdom saving throw. And you're going to kind of try to like shut him out.
I rolled a 15.
You rolled a 15. Okay, good. So you take a moment before you enter Sorvo's, and Baal is screaming and yelling at you, and he's very angrily trying to be released. But you close your eyes and you focus, and you think about Heraldith, and you think about your friendships that you've made, your time alone.
Breathing technique.
Yeah, you do some box breathing, and that he becomes quieter and quieter, and eventually you don't hear him anymore. But you're a glass cannon right now.
Yes.
You have to, you are teetering on the edge of, and Baal knows this. Baal knows that you are teetering and that you are faltering. So what is it that you're going to do now?
I'm going to go into Sorvo's and just get like a time check. If he really thinks it's going to be a whole nother day, or if he thinks he'll end up finishing sooner.
Okay. So you walk into Sorvo's, you know, that the classic mechanic shop, just kind of sci-fi'd up a little bit, and well, I do believe that Carmen and I are making pretty good progress, but unfortunately, I do think that my timeline of 2 days is probably still in order. We've got some work to do. We've got the parts, but, you know, there are other things that we have to do as well. You know, yours is not the only ship that needs repair. So 2 days. You come back tomorrow, and by the end of the day, I should have it fixed.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I totally understand. I appreciate you fitting me in as quickly and efficiently as you have.
Of course! Those damn duo tasks, they keep us pretty busy, but always good to fit in someone who seems to be above board.
Well, thank you. You shall see me tomorrow evening.
Have a wonderful... How did you introduce yourself again to Sorvo?
Olnek.
Olnek. That's right.
Yep.
Have a wonderful day, Olnek.
Oh, thank you. So have all you as well.
Thank you.
And then I am going to boogie my ass back to the jungle.
Okay. You boogie your way back into the jungle. And what is it that you are going to do while you're here?
Meditate.
Meditate. Okay.
I don't necessarily think I believe in any particular god or gods. Just because of the nature of my upbringing.
Fair enough.
It's more science as opposed to, almighty divine intervention, But I do also realize that there are gods, just none that have ever helped me. So
Fair
I
enough.
don't necessarily believe them. So I wouldn't be like praying to any type of god. So this meditation is more just like, again, relaxation techniques, breathing, trying to lower my pulse. Harold kind of calls it like becoming one with nature. He sees it as a way of grounding himself. So he'll really focus on what he hears around him. He'll really focus on the feel of the earth beneath his like feet. Like he'll take off his shoes and socks and just like ground himself.
Okay, that's actually a real world technique for people who are like stressed out. But they definitely teach it to people who have like PTSD, and like other anxiety issues. They actually do teach you to like take your shoes off and just go stand in the dirt and the grass and like feel the ground beneath your feet. And it's a grounding technique. I've actually done it, and it is really soothing. So you do this, you close your eyes, you hear the chirping of birds, you hear cawing, and you hear chittering of insects, and you hear calls from other animals, mammals, marsupials, things like that. And you know what? I am going to give you an opportunity right here. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Not much. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9? Okay. So what I'm going to allow you to do is you can roll a d4.
D4?
Yep.
Okay. 4.
You got a 4. Okay, so you can remove 4 stress points.
Ooh, okay.
From your stress counter. So that puts you at
12.
At 12.
Yeah.
So you do this meditating. You calm yourself down. And you feel at peace. Yet again. Is there anything else that you would like to do today?
I guess you could say nothing in particular. I'm just gonna, again, the scientist in me is gonna keep looking for weird things that I haven't seen before, whether it be plant, insect, animal, whatever.
Okay.
Just like wandering around the jungle, just trying to find anything that is of interest to me.
Okay.
Maybe pick up a few shiny rocks along the way, just because they're pretty.
So while you're walking around the jungle, you feel the best way I can describe this is as if someone was knocking at your mind.
Gotcha.
And you know who's knocking at your mind, but it strikes you as odd because it seems to be a little calmer than what you're used to.
Mm.
Do you answer the knock?
Not right away.
Okay.
I would wait to see the reaction of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
To see if it's a front or not. Because he might be acting calm now, but like if I don't answer and he gets real aggressive, then I know it was just a front.
A few moments pass, and there's another knock. And again, this still seems to be calm. It doesn't seem, you said you wanted to wait for rejection.
Right.
This isn't like a you didn't answer me, and hey, what the fuck, I'm pounding even louder trying to call out again. It's not like a frantic like an ex trying to reach out after you caught them cheating.
Yeah.
and like, please answer me, and then you get like 100 texts in a row. Like it's
Right.
not like that. It just seems to be, you really do get the impression that Baal is just trying to have a conversation with you.
You know what? In the past, he's done this before. And Harold ignored him every time. Because even though they've lived as one for over 100 years now, Harold does still have some hatred towards Baal because of what he did and who he is and everything like that. But at the same time, he's kind of reached an understanding with Baal as to why he did it. Because, I mean, he was thrown in this situation just as much as Harold was. He didn't have a choice in it. It's not like he chose to become one with Harold. He was kind of forced into the situation too. So Harold kind of has sympathy towards it because he's in the same situation. So after being grounded and really kind of like calming himself and being one with nature, he's going to give it a try. He's going to make this time a little bit different. That sympathy comes to the front of his mind, knowing like, hey, he's in this situation just as much as I'm in this situation. Neither of us chose this. Maybe we can work together. Maybe we can find common ground. Maybe we can have a goal that is aligned with one another.
Okay.
So he's going to open the door.
Okay. So you answer this knock, and Baal says to you,
"Sit and close your eyes."
do you heed?
Yes, but first I'm going to find an area that's like not out in the open.
Okay, fair enough. I figured that you would. So you find a cozy little spot that's, out of the way, hidden, and you sit down, cross your legs, close your eyes. And you kind of give a modicum of control over to Baal in the essence that you were trying to connect with him. And as you close your eyes, you open them and you find yourself standing on an asteroid that is stationary. Or excuse, not an asteroid, like a comet. It looks like a comet. But it's stationary. And you stand up and you take a few steps forward. And as you take a few steps forward, you see that on the other side of a rift is a creature that you've never actually seen before. And you might have seen the face in a nightmare in an attempt to take over. But you actually finally see Baal's true form. Baal is 12 feet tall, and he has this reddened flesh across his body. He has double jointed legs like a goat, but his feet, like his feet aren't goat feet. They're like actual feet. He's very muscular, and he has these two wings coming off of his back. And one of the first things that really pops out to you is, he's got horns kind of like you do, but more exaggerated. And they're very tall. But his eyes, where his eyes should be, he doesn't have eyes. There appears to be almost like this, like two bumps over where his eyes should be. And it's almost like some sort of organ that allows for sight, but at a different level than what human sight would be. and his face is very grotesque. He has these large fangs. And have you ever seen those old fashioned like staple removers with the
Yeah.
That's what his mouth looks
I
like.
have one in our desk.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what his mouth looks like. So it's got like 2 large fangs on the top, 2 large fangs on the bottom, and then there's like jagged teeth in
Creepy.
between. Yeah. He's a very horrifying looking creature. And you notice that whenever you take a step forward, he takes a step forward. And his motions are mirroring your own. Do you proceed to the edge of this rift that is in between you two?
Yes. I proceed maybe like a foot from the edge of the rift, and I sit down, cross-legged.
You notice that your motions are mirrored by him perfectly. Every step that you take, every, motion of the hand, and then as you sit down, what you do is mirrored by him.
Perfect.
And he also sits down, and he looks across at you, and he says,
Harold, we have become one, yet I feel that we are not. I exist to destroy. I hunger for it. I crave it. Why do you exist?
I'm going to look at Bale, and with all the sincerity, I'm just going to say, I don't know yet. My reasons for living have changed drastically throughout the years. When I was a child, my purpose was to please my parents and to help them. And then they introduced me to you. And that flipped my world upside down, and I lost purpose. You took my parents from me, as no fault of your own. I hold no animosity towards you for that. But then my purpose was my wife, my loving wife. You knew her. You've seen her through my eyes, and she was taken from me too. So again, my purpose was lost. And then I found science and poisons, and I felt as though if I could be rid of the destructive nature that was inside of me, as I now see as you, that maybe I'd be able to find purpose again. But I have not. And I simply cannot answer your question, as I do not know what my purpose in life is to be, but what I do know is I am not a creature of destruction as you are. I understand that we are one, but we will never be one in that manner. I cannot, in good conscience, have the blood of innocence on my hands, nor the blood of those who did not have a choice in their wrongdoings. I agreed to talk to you today to see if we can find middle ground where we are not destructive without purpose, but where we also can show mercy to those deserving.
Bale struggles to stand up. You get the sense that the two of you have become very connected, and even though this dreamscape that you're in is very much his world that he is in, he still has to fight against you as the host to do what he wants. And so he struggles to his feet, and he begins to kind of pace back and forth. And he says, he kind of mumbles to himself about
Destruction with purpose. Mercy. I've heard these words before, but I do not know them. Abelnook, your existence is a mystery to you. My origin is a mystery to me. Maybe a common ground that we can find. lies in answering both of those questions. Why do you exist? And where do I come from? And possibly a third question. Where do we go from here? My lust for blood and my desire to destroy will never cease. I will always fight to come out, to take control, to kill, to destroy. But maybe, just maybe, you can give me the answers that I seek. And Abelnook, I hope one day you find the answers that you seek.
And with labored movements, he begins to walk away.
I stand up and somehow I know, even without shouting to Baal, that he'll still hear me when I say this. I just say in a normal voice, Baal, I do wish to speak again soon and learn more about the questions you have and working towards that common ground. And then I'll close my eyes and wake back up in the normal realm.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Okay.
So, we're going to end there, and we'll pick back up next week with everyone else. More than likely, it'll be focused mostly on the Temple of Astralpia. But in the meantime, thank you for joining us for another round here at the Groggy Donkey. Make sure to like us, follow us, tell your friends about us, subscribe, download, do all the good stuff. Let us know, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the campaign so far, and just say hi and leave a comment. But until we meet again, stay groggy, everyone.